It began with darkness, not the natural kind, not the comforting quiet of night. This was different, the kind of darkness that swallows cities whole, where streetlights die, trains freeze on their tracks, and hospitals gasp as machines flicker off. A whole nation silenced. At first, people thought it was a glitch, a storm, something technical, something boring. But inside control rooms, engineers stared at screens in disbelief. Systems were misfiring, power was rerouting itself, and no one knew why, except one person. He wasn't in a bunker, he wasn't in an office, he wasn't even old enough to rent a car. He was a teenager, sitting in his bedroom, armed with nothing more than a second-hand laptop and a brilliant mind. He didn't need bombs, he didn't need soldiers. All he needed was code. The attack began small. Control panels flickered. Operators thought they were routing power safely, when in truth, it was going somewhere else. Imagine being told a dam's water level is safe, when in reality, it's seconds from bursting. That's the kind of trick he played. Within hours, chaos rippled outward. Traffic stopped. ATM machines went dark. Families lit candles and whispered it felt like the end of the world. But in his mind, it was just proof. Proof that the mighty weren't so mighty. Proof that nations were only as strong as their weakest firewall. And here's where it gets complicated. Once you see the cracks in a system, you face a choice. Do you ignore them? Or do you walk through? The hacker walked. The money started to pile up. At first, it felt like a game. Numbers climbing on a screen. But then, real dollars hit his account. Sneakers. A new phone. Then more. Much more. He wasn't just outsmarting his friends anymore. He was outsmarting Wall Street. And Wall Street does not like to be outsmarted. Behind the curtain, alarms began to flash. Not sirens in the streets, but whispers in compliance offices. Why is this account making trades that don't add up? Why is this kid winning when everyone else is losing? They didn't know his name, they didn't know his age, but they knew someone was bending the game. And while they watched, he felt the weight of a double life. By day, a quiet student doodling in notebooks. By night, a shadow trader skimming profits from billion-dollar firms. But here's the tragedy. Curiosity and brilliance can open doors, but greed has a way of shoving them wide open. One night, he pushed too far. Instead of thousands, he tried for hundreds of thousands, and suddenly, the game collapsed. The next morning, his account was frozen. Emails, phone calls, then men in suits, not traders, investigators. Because to Wall Street, this wasn't a boy playing smart. This was fraud, market manipulation, a crime. But here's the haunting part. Was it really? Experts debate this to this day. On one side, veterans say, rules are rules. He stole. He deserves punishment. On the other, ethicists, technologists, even teachers say, no, this was a child who saw what adults couldn't. Instead of punishing him, shouldn't we ask why the cracks were there at all? The courts didn't see poetry in it. They saw numbers. And the numbers were big. Fines, restitution, a ban from trading before he could even vote. But in his bedroom, he didn't feel like a criminal. He felt like he'd glimpsed something bigger. The fragility of systems we all trust. The illusion of control that Wall Street projects. And the truth. Sometimes it isn't power that reveals weakness, but a teenager with a laptop. This isn't just his story. It's a mirror. A reminder that our world runs on rules we never see until someone breaks them. He vanished from the headlines as quickly as he appeared. Back to school, back to algebra tests and cafeteria lunches. But he left behind a question, one that lingers like a ghost. If one teenager can outsmart Wall Street, what does that say about Wall Street itself? Maybe this story isn't about a boy at all. Maybe it's about us, our blind faith in institutions, our willingness to believe someone somewhere is in control. But the truth? Control is fragile. Systems are flawed. And sometimes, it takes a child to remind us. So next time you flip a switch, charge your phone, or hear the hum of a refrigerator, remember, one day it all went dark. Not because of war, not because of nature, but because one human being, somewhere out there, decided it could. The hacker held a country hostage, but maybe, in truth, he was holding up a mirror